Let's analyze why wanting access to Japanese music is not the same as being entitled to Japanese music. Whenever we discuss Japanese pop culture, specifically music, these comments are a dime a dozen. You're correct in the sense nobody is entitled to listen to another country's music, but that is not what fans of Japanese pop music are saying, nor is it what Japanese artists are claiming. This comment, and all those like it, does fans of Japanese music and Japanese musicians a disservice because it trivializes the argument in more ways than one. The first being the idea that the only reason non-Japanese people want to listen to Japanese music is due to capitalistic entitlement. I promise you, not a single J-pop fan is into J-pop because they want to appease Sony shareholders. And I say this as someone who has tried to appease Sony shareholders. They're into J-pop because they enjoy the musical stylings of Utada Hikaru, Namimuro, Baby Metal, Duran Gray, Miyavi, Perfume, Ayumi Hamasaki, Crystal K, Fujikaze, and most recently, XG, and so many more artists that I just don't have time to name in this video. If a non-Japanese person wants to buy a Japanese CD, vinyl, or even a poster, why is it automatically regarded as capitalistic entitlement? Is it a crime to want to support artistry? If you take a vacation to Japan and ball out at Tower Records in Shibuya, Japanese TSA is not going to hold your purchases from you. You can take all the CDs, vinyls, and posters you bought home. Furthermore, this implies that J-pop by nature is not for-profit and or mass consumption within its own country. As stated in my previous video, Japan is one of the few countries on Earth that continues to hold physical CDs in high esteem. If you want to listen to the newest album from the top artists, be prepared to pay at least $50. Japan is the second biggest music market in the world, worth $2.2 billion, primarily off the strength of its domestic market. Let's not act as though Japan gatekeeping their music is a form of them protesting capitalism. Be so for real. Japan cares deeply about money, and for a country that's $9.2 trillion in debt, they very well should. As I established in my last video, being a J-pop fan is a very expensive hobby. Most people cannot afford to be J-pop fans due to the high CD and shipping prices and the lack of availability on streaming services. While it's true this money could help ease the financial crisis the country currently faces, fans of Japanese music just want to support their favorite artists and maybe have a physical memento that they can showcase. The second issue with this argument is the fact it turns a blind eye to the fact many Japanese musicians have been trying to break into the US market for years. Not all, but some Japanese musicians speak English and have put out several albums just for the chance to be recognized outside of Japan. When I say Japan gatekeeps their culture, and specifically in the context of music, I am talking about specific individuals, systems, and laws that work in tandem to keep those gates closed. That does not mean Japanese musicians themselves do not want to share their music with a wider audience. Who are you to dismiss their dreams and aspirations? Remember Plastic Love, the song that captured the hearts of everyone in 2018 with an internet connection and single-handedly sparked an international resurgence in city pop? In a 2018 Japan Times interview, Maria Takeuchi was asked how she felt about the song's sudden burst of popularity. She responded that she was eager to learn what fans thought about her music, and the fact people were still waiting and listening to her music is something she appreciates. Maria Takeuchi also acknowledged she grew up listening to music from all around the world, including American pop, French songs, Italian music, and so much more. She paid homage to some of her early musical influences on the 2003 album Longtime Favorites. These influences include Connie Francis, Paul Anka, Mina Mazzini, and Majidi Nuet. She also spent a year in Rock Falls, Illinois as a teenager, which culminated in her choosing to study English literature at Keio University. It's fair to say having access to non-Japanese music changed the course of Maria Takeuchi's life and influenced her stylings as a musician. What would the current musical landscape look like if musicians from around the globe could also draw inspiration from Japanese artists? What would it look like if a generation of kids fell down a YouTube rabbit hole and grew up on city pop and jazz fusion like Jun Fukamachi's Quark? Now, I am not saying open the floodgates so every SoundCloud rapper from America and beyond can rap over a city pop beat. Nor am I saying Japanese artists should not be compensated should their work be made available to those outside of Japan en masse. also worth noting Plastic Love was re-released in Japan on November 3rd, 2021 as a single on a 12-inch vinyl. It debuted at number 5 on the Oricon singles chart, selling 14,000 copies exclusively on analog, and spent 28 weeks on the chart total. Despite being 3 years late, Japan still found a way to capitalize off the 2018 viral hit domestically. Plastic Love and the domino effect it had on the Japanese music industry deserves its own video. But suffice to say, Plastic Love is a testament to what could happen if more people simply had access to Japanese music. In conclusion, entitlement is not the word you're looking for. It's disappointment. I'm disappointed Japanese musicians continue to try and fail to break into the US market for reasons outside of their control. I'm disappointed I can't listen to my favorite Japanese artists on streaming services, many of whom I grew up on. I'm disappointed Nami Amuro, one of the biggest Japanese pop stars in history, has had all of her music taken off streaming services for nearly a year. I'm disappointed there is such a lack of understanding on this subject that whenever it is brought up, there is contempt for people who are simply fans of Japanese music. We live in an age where music is more accessible than it has ever been before. Thanks to platforms like SoundCloud and streaming services, people can find and appreciate music from all over the world. The fact Japanese music remains an exception to this is, in my opinion, a shame.